Hey friends, I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a nice New Year's Eve as we close out 2025. I really enjoyed this year rediscovering my love of reading. Miranda got me the Kindle Paperwhite for my birthday this summer, and it really kind of gave me access to a lot more books than I normally would have. So I just kind of wanted to put together like a top 10 list of the favorite things I read this year. Maybe this will inspire some of you guys to check out some of these books. And if not, that's okay too. Just things that I enjoyed. Before I jump into the list, I did want to mention one book. This book, Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I consistently saw this book listed on tons of creators' favorite, lists of the year. And I really had a hard time getting into this book. I think that most likely the sequels in this series are better. I've heard that this one leans a little bit more into the kind of the young adult genre. It just had some like Hunger Games vibes in there and some things that I just didn't love. All right, so let's kick into the top 10 list. Number 10 is I Am Pilgrim by Terry Hayes. Terry Hayes is, a former, I believe, like a spy, basically CIA agent who got into writing, and he's got a pretty big library. It was actually his debut novel. This is a fun book. It's kind of a murder mystery. It's got kind of a global footprint all over the place. It's just a really fun ride. Number 9 is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. And there's actually a Netflix series, I believe. I haven't seen it, from 2024 based on this book. But this is a fun book. It's about a guy that wakes up in sort of an alternate reality, kind of deals with multiverses and some time travel. Just a fun sci-fi experience. Number 8 is The Gray Man by Mark Greaney. This also has a Netflix movie, I believe, with Ryan Gosling that came out last year, and I haven't seen that yet. But it's another kind of spy thriller type novel, but I just really liked it. It had a lot of heart, a lot of action. Number 7 is The Secret of Secrets by Dan Brown. Now, I've read all of the Dan Brown, Robert Langdon series. I think this is probably my top 3 after Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons. It deals with a lot of kind of modern concepts of human consciousness and kind of where we go when we die and what happens to our bodies. And it just explores some things that I really found fascinating. So very nice entry in that series. Number 6 is a book that I actually read several books by this author this year, and this was my favorite. It's The Road by Cormac McCarthy. So I also read All the Pretty Horses and Blood Meridian this year. I felt like The Road was the most accessible, the one I could connect to the most. Sometimes McCarthy's writing is a little bit difficult to follow, the way he structures his dialogue and things like that. This one, I really love the heart. I really love the motivations of the father character, and the way that he filtered, things for his son. Kind of really made me appreciate that as a parent. Number 5 is maybe cheating a little bit. It's Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. The reason I say it's cheating is because I actually started reading the Lord of the Rings trilogy all the way through towards the end of 2024, for the first time. And I did finish Return of the King in 2025, right at the beginning of the year. But just such a fantastic book series, my favorite film series also. So loved it, loved how I got a lot more context than you get in the movie for the ending of the story. Things like the Scouring of the Shire and those parts that are just not in the movie. I really loved this series. Number 4 is True Grit by Charles Portis. I read this book on my Kindle, and when I was kind of going through a little bit of a streak of Western, genre novels this year, I love both movie interpretations, especially the Coen Brothers movie. I just felt that this book treats characters in such a fun way. You really, in a short book, really, you get to understand and experience these characters. They're so distinct. You understand their motivations, and it's a fun book. Certainly kind of leans into that dark comedy, but I loved it. So number 3 is actually 2 books. The Name of the Wind and The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. These books are so good. if you're a fantasy fan like I am. They kind of combine some similar elements from maybe some things like Harry Potter and some Lord of the Rings and some other things, where there's magic and creatures and, characters, conflict. But following the main character on this journey and understanding sort of his point of view as he's narrating a story, I just loved it. Unfortunately, kind of seems like we're in a similar position with George R.R. Martin, where we may not get the end of this trilogy, but hopefully we do. It's fantastic. Number 2 is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This was another book that I read several by Andy Weir. I'd read The Martian at some point previously, but this year I also read Randomize and Artemis. But Project Hail Mary is so good. It's no surprise they're making a movie. I'm sure it'll be a blockbuster. Can't wait to see that. Fun space, epic journey to save the Earth, Armageddon type vibes. Love the character, love the science. Great one. And my number 1 favorite book that I read this year was Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. I remember as a kid, my dad loving this TV miniseries. I had really never gotten into it. And this was not a property that was anywhere on my radar of something that I would want to read, but I'd consistently seen several content creators talk about this book as being one of their all-time favorites. And honestly, it blew me away. And it probably is one of my all-time favorite books now. I just love the 2 main characters. I loved going on this journey with them, even though it was very hard and sometimes devastating what they went through. Just the story, the camaraderie, living in the moment with them, at times wishing you were there to experience the beauty of really a celebration of the Western United States. Also had the opportunity to go up to Montana this year after I read this book and got to see some of those landscapes and can understand why they wanted to get there so badly. It's gorgeous. Anyway, thanks guys. I hope that you have had a wonderful 2025 and that 2026 is a great year for you as well. If you don't do a lot of reading, maybe look at getting a Kindle. It's so nice to have that accessibility. Also, Audible audiobooks is a great format that I do quite a bit of. So take care. Thanks, guys.